Ladies and gentlemen, goobers of all ages, welcome back to Goober Central's TEW 2020 save, where it's going to be me booking Raw and a collective contingent of myself and Drew booking SmackDown here. We're kicking things off this week with the Nature Boy Ric Flair making a big announcement that next week it's going to be super duper Raw. Woo! And that's going to include AJ Styles WWE Championship defense as he takes on Randy Orton.
Let's book that for you real quick, Devin.
Absolutely. Well, we saw last week too. There's a few things that we got to book up for Super Duper Raw in this first little segment.
Yes, we do.
AJ Styles, Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, and we've also got Kurt Angle versus Apollo Crews. That match, Kurt Angle earned that match last week.
Oh, I put Rusev. My apologies.
Kurt Angle and Apollo Crews there for that match. Those two matches are the first two matches official Super Duper Raw. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. That should be great. Flair is excited. He gets a 91. And then we go into our first match of the evening. Rhodes versus Dolph Ziggler as Ziggler drags Cody Rhodes across the finish line. With a 72 rated match, Ziggler gets a 70, Cody gets a 60. Match got the crowd hotter. Ziggler able to win with the zigzag as he continues his hot momentum and his hot streak. Good for Dolph Ziggler. Maybe we'll see a turnaround from Cody here.
Maybe, maybe.
We'll just have to wait and see.
That's all you can do.
We get a 92 rated segment here from Dean Ambrose, and he calls out Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns, he is not in the building tonight. Roman is injured for last week's big main event and brawl with Ambrose alongside Sami Zayn brawling out with Brock Lesnar. More on that a little later. But Ambrose wants a rematch with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman's new alliance. We'll see if that comes to head sooner rather than later. The next contest gets a 60 as Shelton Benjamin defeats Braun Strowman with pay dirt. Benjamin using his veteran experience to put down Strowman there, and he's trying to teach Chad Gable a lesson. He says if Gable just opens his ears and opens his mind, then he can learn a thing or two. And Shelton puts down Strowman here with a 60. Good performance from Shelton considering he's not super over himself with a 57. So
No,
we
he's
take
not.
those and we move on. But after the match, Chad Gable he comes out to ringside and he challenges Shelton to a match next week at Super Duper Raw, and Shelton accepts. So Super Duper Raw
Real
now
quick, let's
will
rebook.
also
Let's book
feature
that. My bad. Oh no. Rebook.
it's also going to feature a showdown between Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. So that should be an interesting showdown.
Should be. Well, what about this match?
This match here, a 75 international incident, coming out here and taking on Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family. It's a big match. It's a big win there for Wyatts as Harper puts away Cassius Ohno with that discus clothesline. Not surprised there. 75, a 60 for Harper, a 68 for Wyatt, a 68 for McIntyre, and a 57 for Ohno. So match does what I need it to do. Furthers that feud, and after this match, Bray Wyatt ain't having it anymore. He wants his rematch with Drew McIntyre next week on Super Duper Raw. Conan accepts on Drew McIntyre's behalf, and we're going to book that now too. Super Duper Raw turning into a quite the show as Bray Wyatt and Drew McIntyre will have their rematch.
Oh my goodness.
Next up, we have Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami. Hideo Itami, we saw, was being courted by none other than International Incident here recently. Obviously, they want him.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to get him? That's the question that everybody's asking about this Conan allegiance of sorts. But Sami Zayn takes Hideo Itami and is able to defeat him with the haluva kick. And Zayn obviously wants a match with Brock Lesnar in the near future.
Yeah, I was gonna.
So we'll see what happens
I
there.
don't know if he'll be able to get it next week because Brock isn't contractually obligated to wrestle on Raw.
He is not.
Oh my,
That's okay. And then we get Kurt Angle with a 97. Kurt Angle doing Kurt Angle things.
that's
97
true.
rated Angle there, as he says that next week is his opportunity to become a Grand Slam champion here within the WWE. It's all his accomplishment, and a better way to ring in that Grand Slam championship arc for Kurt Angle than as the American hero that he is to defeat Apollo Crews, make Apollo Crews' reign very short lived, and become the United States champion.
We'll have to figure that out next week, won't we?
We will, but tonight it is a very special one. The phenomenal AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, and AJ beats Finn Balor with the springboard 450. It's at 81. It's a really good match. Um, both these guys still trying to get more over, but Balor proving that he can hang with the main event.
I think he did prove
But
it.
it just isn't enough. He did, but it just wasn't enough. Here is AJ Styles wins, but after the match, here comes the Apex Predator, the Viper, slides in from behind AJ and he measures for the RKO, but unfortunately for him, Gallows and Anderson are there to stop him, and they lay the boots to Orton,
Oh
and the
no.
club stands tall to end this episode of Raw, going into Super Duper Raw next week. Orton dethrone AJ Styles, as it seems like the phenomenal one has finally gotten a leg up on the Viper. And it's an 83, and that's how we end our show this week. And let's see what the rating is.
80.
An 83.
Okay,
Okay, that's better. That's better than we've been doing.
that's true.
Raw gets an 83. We're starting to get somewhere.
I think so. I think you are as well. I think you are as well. But the question is, can SmackDown hold up? As SmackDown, it's the go home episode before Backlash. Are you excited or what?
Let's get to it. I'm excited.
The final SmackDown before Backlash is here. We're in West Virginia as we open up the show with Chris Jericho hosting the highlight reel with World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan as a cardboard cutout. It gets 92 rated segment, and it's Devin, it's almost like he's here.
Yeah, it's almost like he's hearing Chris Jericho making a mockery out of the World Heavyweight Champion. Last week, Jericho and his tag team partner Sheamus picked up a win over Daniel Bryan and Cesaro in last week's main event. Obviously, Jericho mocking the champion ahead of their clash at Backlash this
Backlash.
upcoming Sunday. It should be a fantastic contest, but obviously Jericho taking the piss on Daniel Bryan here tonight, and he basically just claims that he's a better man than Daniel Bryan ever could be, and that he will become the world champion once again. Backlash.
We open up the show with a little bit of pick your poison action, so you'll see John Morrison later in action later tonight. But ahead of their clash at Backlash, the Kenny Omega and John Morrison picked each other's opponents. As Kenny Omega excuse me, John Morrison chose Tyler Breeze to face Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega.
Now I heard that Tyler Breeze was not the first choice for
No, no,
one John Morrison, but we'll find out about that a little later.
I heard that too. I heard that too. But either way, Kenny Omega gets the win, a 59 rated match. Um, a lot of momentum for him going into Backlash.
Backlash.
Then we get to the back. Daniel Bryan, the world champion, is fuming at Chris Jericho's silly little games. And Shawn Michaels said, "Look, man, I know you're hot, and you want to go get revenge right now, but best kind of revenge is success and beating Chris Jericho at Backlash.
At Backlash.
Nice word segment. Then we see
Nice.
2/4 of our tag team championship match at Backlash. We see Kofi Kingston take on Simon Gotch, and Kofi Kingston gets the win on behalf of the New Day. They don't click at all here.
This is not good for SmackDown this week.
His luck run out.
I didn't do it on purpose, I promise.
Cesaro and Sheamus promo package before their match at the final showdown at Backlash. Who do you got?
Backlash.
By the way, Devin. Yeah.
I don't know. I would like it to be Cesaro, but if wishes were fishes.
That's right. That's right. Now we see in tag team action. Naomi and Mickey James don't work well as a team. Well, that might play into why they lost to the women's champion Becky Lynch and the boss Sasha Banks. This is probably the roughest SmackDown's been the past couple weeks, huh?
It's been great so far, but you can chuck that down to me and Drew taking over for Myth, not knowing full well exactly what Myth wants on his SmackDown.
Yeah, but it's okay. 55 rated match.
We're doing the best. We're doing the best we can.
Oh shoot! This is
The Miz is in the wrong Virginia.
he thought the show was in Virginia. No. Miz, the show's in West Virginia. And I mean, Maurice looks like she's beside herself to be in West Virginia right now. Poor Miz, man.
Poor Miz, my ass.
Why do you feel that way?
Poor Miz, my ass. Look at me.
Okay, all right, okay. Now you get hot.
Come on now. The dude was the Intercontinental Champion. He's lost his mind. I don't know what the hell's gotten into the Miz. But he can't even be punctual anymore. Showing up at the wrong buildings. He's got to get this figured out.
He's got it. He's got it. And the Intercontinental Championship is not going to be his if he doesn't get his head back on straight. Right now, you're talking to a wall. 84 rated segment. We see R-Truth take on Alberto Del Rio, and they have pretty good chemistry as Alberto Del Rio beats R-Truth with the cross arm breaker.
Good match for those two.
Good for them. Then we see at Backlash, Team Taz issues an open challenge for Backlash. Who's it gonna be? Pre-book that real quick. 2-on-2.
We're gonna throw some filler in there because we want to keep you surprised for at Backlash.
We'll just throw the vaudevillains in there. As you guys know, they're facing the tag team champions. So. Boom. Can't wait to see what that's going to be about. 79 rated segment.
That could be a fun little.
Huh.
72. Rey Mysterio and Rhino have great chemistry. Okay.
Wow.
I can get behind that.
But it ends in a no contest, Devin. And why is
It's in a no contest. Oh, that's because all hell broke loose in this match at the end of it, especially. Here come the Dudleys. Here comes the Lucha Dragons, and they freaking go into an all-out brawl. It's a war, an absolute war.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like officially now with Michaels coming out here, Backlash is going to see a 6-man tag team street fight. And my goodness, I'll tell you what, that match in and of itself, sounds like it's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh man, you're telling me.
The way this feud has gone, the way this feud has played out up to this point, like nobody is necessarily in a good spot. They it's gotten really personal. They took away this contingent of the Dudleys, Rhino, and the Dudleys, Rhino, and the CCW original contingent. There is no others, I guess, at the moment,
At the
or
moment that we
so
know
we
of.
think.
That we know of. And they caused Rey Mysterio an opportunity to become the Intercontinental Champion for the second time in his career, right?
I do believe so.
Rey Mysterio's. I mean, he's struggled since he's gotten back here in
He
WWE.
struggled. He's found an allegiance with former allies, I guess, especially in Cara. But allies in masks that have come along to help him out, and we're gonna find out exactly what they're made of because it seems like this would be Team ECW's, the ECW originals. This would be their playground.
Yeah, I'm worried about the Lucha Dragons and Rey Mysterio. 99 rated segment, holy cow! And then we see John Morrison take on Kenny Omega's handpicked opponent Jack Swagger, and he gets the one with the Starship Pain.
No doubt. No doubt. Swagger continues to put on some decent performances, but Morrison, he gets it done. Starship Pain, Omega Morrison, this big time for them. I think it's going to be a fun affair, the road match. And we're going to find out just who is up for the test at Backlash.
Then we see John Cena tell the WWE Universe how important it is for him to become the Intercontinental Champion. Much like Kurt Angle over on Raw, he's trying to complete a Grand Slam. He's trying to become a Grand Slam champion. And it's kind of like a little friendly competition on who's going to do it first. Well,
Absolutely. There's one
John
missing
Cena has
link.
John Cena has the opportunity to do it first at Backlash 24 hours earlier than Kurt Angle's opportunity. Will he get it done? We'll have to
Only time's going to tell.
wait and see. But coming up next in our main event, it's Seth Rollins taking on the Intercontinental Champion, Kevin Owens. Oh my goodness, they went
81, 32 minutes just about as Seth Rollins puts away the Intercontinental Champion with the pedigree. What a win for Rollins. 81. This SmackDown was a weaker one. Give it that, but it's best competitors in action. As we move on, it gets a 100 rated angle to finish the show. Seth Rollins, he wins, but Kevin Owens comes from behind and attacks. John Cena rushes down to the ring to save him, and Owens go back and forth. Owens looking for the pop-up powerbomb. Cena flies over, hits the attitude adjustment on Kevin Owens, but as Cena lands on his knees, Rollins hits the ropes and drills a stomp to Cena, and we go off the air with Rollins raising the Intercontinental Championship above. Is this going to be the scene at Backlash when Rollins, Cena, and Owens go head to head for that Intercontinental title? What a way to end the show. We finish things up, and let's see what SmackDown got.
Oh,
83, it's a tie. It's a tie.
it's a tie this week. First ever tie, right?
Yes, sir. First ever tie.
Hmm.
Good show on both sides.
I agree, absolutely agree. But coming up next, we have NXT and NXT coming off of a banger episode with a triple threat match between Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, and Jay Lethal. Number one contenders match to see who would face Shinsuke Nakamura. We saw Adam Cole debut, and we saw Bailey's farewell. What does NXT have in store tonight? We'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NXT as we are fresh off of that big NXT episode going into NXT TakeOver Respect as we see Zack Sabre Jr. defeat Kyle O'Reilly in our opener, as Zack Sabre Jr. is getting ready for the Cruiserweight Classic, which starts this week. Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Santos Escobar in the first round. What a match that's going to be.
I got to think that Zack Sabre Jr. is a favorite to go all the way in that one.
Well, I absolutely agree. I agree. I mean, you got names like Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Ricochet, Frankie Kazarian has signed with WWE to be a part of the Cruiserweight Classic. Andrade. So many names, so many names. And Zack Sabre Jr. gets the win to get you excited for the Cruiserweight Classic. Austin Aries isn't a happy man after last week. He had the number one contender triple threat match won, but Ty Dillinger cost him the opportunity to challenge Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. NXT Takeover Respect.
Of course he did.
He tells Ty Dillinger he should have never come back to NXT, and once he's done with him, he's gonna wish he didn't go back to NXT, and that's a threat. And Ty Dillinger doesn't seem like one to back down.
He backs down from no man.
Let me see some tag team action as Asuka, our women's champion, teams up with Mia Yim to take on Madison Eagles and Nicole Matthews. Madison Eagles makes it out unscathed from Asuka as Nicole Matthews she taps out to our women's champion. 60 rated match there. Then,
With this though, Madison Eagles outperformed Asuka in that one.
I did see that. Bobby Roode. We catch up with Bobby Roode earlier this week before his match at NXT Takeover Respect. As he'll take on Shinsuke Nakamura at that takeover. Can Bobby Roode be the quickest man to become the NXT champion in record time, Devin? Actually, it's still Kevin Owens even after Bobby Roode, I think. Right?
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Owens won it, a month after his debut?
Yes. It's been about 2 since Bobby Roode debuted. Bobby Roode says Shinsuke Nakamura isn't a traditional NXT champion. He doesn't carry himself like a champion. He doesn't. He said that Shinsuke Nakamura wears the belt. The belt doesn't wear him. Whatever that means. But can Bobby Roode become the NXT champion in NXT Takeover Respect? We'll have to find out. But in our main event, Shinsuke Nakamura was in action against Red Dragon's Bobby Fish in a 61 rated match. And holy carry job from Shinsuke Nakamura as he beats Bobby Fish with a triangle choke. Golly. We end the night with Shinsuke Nakamura celebrating in the NXT ring as NXT gets a 60 rated show going into the Cruiserweight Classic. Devin, how'd you feel about the show?
A pretty good one. NXT's only getting better as more guys get over. Obviously, I can't really complain about anything. NXT's doing its thing, and it's just chugging along. The little engine it could, and that's what NXT always kind of has been.
Let's go. But don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see 3 of our first round matchups from the Cruiserweight Classic on 205 Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode of 205 Live, where we're going to follow the Cruiserweight division here at NXT. And, well, you can't have a division without a championship, can you? Because William Regal introduces Triple H, the mastermind behind NXT, to unveil the Cruiserweight Championship, which the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic will win. And we will have 3 Cruiserweight Classic matches tonight. And what a night it's going to be, Devin. History is about to happen here in the next few weeks.
Absolutely, and there's the 16 men in this Cruiserweight Classic. They are world-class athletes, and I cannot wait to see this tournament. And we're going to kick it off with a big match here. And I believe it's Andrade versus Kushida, and it sure is.
You're absolutely right. As Kushida beats Andrade Cien Almas with a Kushida lock in about 15 minutes. What a match these two had as Arkansas was on their feet tonight.
I mean, Kushida and Andrade are two of the best. We follow that up with oof.
A 38 rated match as Damian Slater falls short against Penta in Penta's debut as Penta wins a package power driver. Neither guy's is really over though, but
No, you take the good with the bad. You know, it's a victory. Victory for Penta. He moves on in the tournament. Slater, see you later. Packs his bag back to Australia, and we'll see. You know, he is signed to the company, so we'll see what happens in his future. But Penta with a big win. He joins Kushida, moving on to the first round. I think both of those guys, honestly, Kushida and Penta. You know, you put them up in that camp to win the entire thing.
absolutely. And speaking of somebody who's, I would say, a dark horse in this tournament, Frankie Kazarian. Um,
Listen, Kaz. People forget Frankie Kazarian was with the WWE back in I believe 2004.
uh,
Um,
Brandon.
Late 2004, maybe early 2005, but he was undefeated. He was on his way to becoming Cruiserweight Champion, and then just out of nowhere, he was gone. So now this Cruiserweight Classic comes up. Of course, he's going to come back and want to stick his name in the hat for a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship and to become the Cruiserweight Champion. And goodness, next week he's got Will Ospreay in the first round. And I tell you what, Frankie Kazarian, he's my dark horse to win this whole thing. He's got the experience edge. You know, his prowess as an X Division competitor in TNA. You've got to give a veteran like him a lot of got to give a veteran like him a lot of edge moving forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then our main event, we end the night with Ricochet beating Rich Swann in a 57 rated match as Ricochet joins Penta and Kushida in the second round.
A big win there for Ricochet. He's been highly impressive. Rich Swann comes up a little short, but the Cruiserweight Classic, the 57, Ricochet able to pick up the win and move on. I mean, nothing comes easy in the Cruiserweight Classic, and I mean, Rich Swann brought his A game, but Ricochet able to get the job done.
And that is the end of the first edition of 205 Live as it gets a 57. Pretty
Did we take those?
start. Pretty solid start to the Cruiserweight Classic, and as much as it is a solid start for this tournament, it is the end of this week here, Devin, and I think it's time for the outro. As ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on YouTube if you want to watch my matches, Drew Tony. You can find me on Instagram at Real Drew Tony. You can find me on Facebook, Drew Tony, and you can find me on TikTok at Real Drew Tony. Not on there too much, but I'll post every now and then. Subscribe to the channel, Goober Central. We've had a lot of good stuff going. And Devin, you got anything else you want to say? Where can they find you?
Check out Full Gear Pro Wrestling.
There you go.
The Vanilla underscore midget for real on Twitch every Wednesday live from at noon Central, 1 Eastern. It's a really fun time on a great show. So the show has been awesome. The matches have really delivered. We're coming off of a big 3 week stretch with our big Final Destination event as well as our anniversary show that we just had. You know, the momentum is high. So come check us out. There's a playlist on the Goober Central channel. Obviously, if you're watching this, I recommend you checking that out. Check out the FGPW On Demand playlist where you can follow everything Full Gear Pro Wrestling has done over the last year. And join the Goober Ain't Easy Discord server. We have a lot of fun
Absolutely.
there. Pretty chill environment. We have a good time. Questions of the day. There's the Goober playlist song of the day, which is one of the highlights of every day in the server. We have tournament brackets that we do every month. Just different community events, and everybody seems to get along really well at the moment. Uh,
Absolutely.
you know, and I think that it is a good environment for everybody to come in. So I highly recommend, if you like the content you see on here, and you like the people that you see on this channel from time to time, from Nick to Warren, I would highly recommend jumping in.
100%. You've hit everything I've wanted to hit, Devin. And our next episode, Smackdown presents Backlash.
Yeah.
Heard you on a nigga that's gon' please you. Suck your toes, kick it down, please you. She say, bam, nasty, I say me too.